Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Let's hope it's a good Monday for the New Orleans Saints. Saints will welcome Philly in on Sunday. And I think Philly has earned a reputation as one of the top organizations in the sport, and I think that would be very, very fair. Of course, they won that Super Bowl on the back of Nick Foles, who took over for Carson Wentz, and they were very, very good that year. And then all of a sudden, Foles and Wentz didn't work out and moved elsewhere, and you draft Jalen Hurts, and you're like, is that even going to work? What's the point? Can he even throw the ball? And then you look up, and it's like, oh, that's really working, and they're really good. And then they got to the Super Bowl in 2022 and lost in overtime. They were 14-3 that year in 2022. And then they started last year 10-1. So if you look at their regular season run from 2022 into 2023 to week 11, they were 24-4. That is remarkable. And because of that, the Super Bowl that they went to with Wentz and Foles, and then immediately bouncing back, and you know they've got that great defense that Fletcher Cox was spearheading, and Kelsey was an all-pro at center, and they bring in A.J. Brown, and like it looks like a really, really good team, and they've garnered that reputation based on that year and a half. And now you look up and go, what are they lately? Well, at the end of last year, and I'll start in week 13 with Philly, they lost 42-19 against San Francisco in Philly in week 13. Week 14, they went to Dallas and lost 33-3, losing these games by 20-plus points. Week 15, they go to Seattle, decent Seattle team, but not great. They lose 20-17 in that one at Seattle. Then they play the Giants and Tyrod Taylor in Philly in week 16, and they beat them 33-25. An 8-point win over Tyrod Taylor's New York Giants. Then week 17, they lost 35-31 to Arizona, who won 4 games last year. Then they lost week 18 to the Giants at New York, 27-10. They finished last year 1-5. And they limped into the playoffs and went to Tampa, and they lost 32-9. Not even competitive against the NFC South champion. So that's got to matter a little bit. And Cox retires, and Kelsey retires, and now A.J. Brown's a little banged up. And what do we think about the Eagles? Like, are they really, really good? Now, I framed it that way for a reason, just to kind of get the creative juices going, get you thinking. You're talking about a team that was 1-6 in their last 7 football games last year. But they did go to Brazil and play a good game. Saquon Barkley looked incredible, and they beat Green Bay, who we think is good. So that's a nice win. And quite frankly, if Saquon Barkley just catches the football on Monday, I know because he's on the fantasy team, and the drop literally cost me the week. But if he just catches the ball, it was a good call. Hurts executed it, rolled out. Barkley was right there. He hit him right in the hands. And if he catches that ball, which I think he catches, let's not even go out of 100. He catches that 18 out of 20, 19 out of 20. The Eagles are a 2-0 football team with a brand new toy in the backfield who's an MVP-type talent, and a quarterback that's won a lot of games, and a coach that's won a lot of games. And they're thought of as one of the real threats in the NFC. But Barkley dropped the ball. And then the defense, all they had to do was hold him out of the end zone. No touchdowns. Field goal doesn't do anything. They got to score a touchdown. They went right down the field. Cousins, boom, 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 touchdown. And you lost the game on your home field. And while I do push back sometimes and try to offer some context on the zero-sum game of this is a win, this is a loss, in the end, this is a win, and this is a loss, and they lost. And they lost 6 of their last 7 last year. There's been coordinator turnover, obviously. There's been some significant losses if they come into this game, without Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and A.J. Brown, which I know 2 of them are retired, so they're not coming back, but Brown, who we don't think is going to play, like that's a different team than the group that was 10-1 last year in Week 11. So, like, how good are the Eagles? There's a reason I picked New Orleans before the season started to win this game, is because I was kind of curious, like, what are they? And for the sake of analysis, and if we're really being truthful, like, They should probably be 2-0, but they're not. They should be. I think it's a good team. I don't think it is the steamroller full of chainsaws that they were for a year and a half in 22 and half of 23. I think they're good. And this matchup is really good for New Orleans on the ground because right now, this Philly team is a sieve in run defense. They're dead last in the NFL in opposing yards per carry. 6.4 yards per carry in the National Football League is terrible. And that's what this Eagles team has put out there through 2 weeks. Bijan Robinson was a hot knife through butter last week. Just, whew. They couldn't stop him. Now, what's Alvin Kamara going to do? The Saints have put on tape that they want to run the ball, that they are good at the ball, running the ball, that they want to run wide zone. That's what Atlanta was running. That looks like a really good matchup. And then offensively, you look at this Philly offense, and it looks pretty good. Better with A.J. Brown. You really like Devontae Smith on the outside. You really like Saquon Barkley. And Goddard is a solid middle-of-the-field option for him. And Hurts is pretty good. I would say he's somewhere between the 8th best and 14th best quarterback in the NFL. Depends on the week. But they are not a juggernaut. And right now, if you want to make the argument that the Saints are a bigger threat in the NFC than the Eagles, you can back that up with a lot over the last 2 weeks that would support it. Now, if you try to back it up over 3 years, you get bloodbath. But if you back it up with 2 weeks, and these two teams this year, I kind of like the Saints right now. And then you plug in the Dome into the equation, and you realize how ridiculous that place is going to be on Sunday, especially if the Saints get off to a good start. That's going to be a tough deal for Philadelphia. I've got to look a little bit deeper. This is more of a surface area take. Got to look at this team and get the injury report moving forward. What's Taysom doing? He was back at practice today. What's A.J. Brown doing? What's Marshawn Lattimore doing? Like, I'd like a little bit more information that hopefully we'll get by the end of the show on Friday when I make my final pick this week. But right now, you kind of feel like you got to lean New Orleans. And that's not something most people were prepared to do 2 weeks ago. Maybe not something that most people were prepared to do last week. I think more people than not will be prepared to do it this week as the Eagles head to the Dome for a noon kickoff on Sunday. We'll be talking about it today. We'll be talking about it tomorrow for sure. If you want to hear Saints content all the time, you can do that at Hunt on Saints on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. If you're fired up about the way the Saints have played early on in this football season, you're not alone. Go to the channel, Hunt on Saints, and click the videos. They're going to cut down into like 10, 12-minute segments. Shout out to the Team Spazzali over there. Team Spazzali. It was bound to happen. I can't go through much time without doing it.
It's okay. It happens.
You can't not with that. But shout out to Team Spazzali for getting that all together each and every day. And y'all can check that out at Hunt on Saints. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the section below. And hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.